Good morning and welcome, of course, to yoga. So, per my note, the spine, let me just hit this. There we go. Is one of the most elegant designs, and it certainly separates us from the rest of the mammals and animals out there. So basically, when we're in utero, we are in what we're calling a primary curve, and it's completely like that. You're just rounded as you know. Then what happens, you pop out, and you're lying on your tummy a lot. Babies are often lying on their tummy when they want to see what's going on. So at about 3 or 4 months, they start to raise their heads, and they create the cervical curve in the neck. Yay, so they can see what's going on. So then they start creeping and crawling around, and eventually they want to stand up. And here's the difference, the big difference between us and the rest of the mammals, is having a lumbar curve, because it supports your entire upper body, your hips, of course, your lower body, and it plays a role. But when you look at, knuckle dragging, tree swinging animals, they don't have a lumbar curve. Now, that's the good news. The bad news is we have one of the most narrow bases of support of all animals, cats, dogs, and animals. A lot of them, they're on 4 supports. We're just on our feet and our legs. And now, of course, there are some animals that can walk, even dogs, monkeys, chimps will walk on 2 legs for a while, but they won't stay on 2 legs. They can't. They don't have that lower lumbar support. And this is why really taking care of our spine is going to make the difference between being happy in our bodies, because our spines are truly the place where our entire nervous system travels through. It is our structural disposition, and that equals energy. So if your spine is out of alignment, you will probably be out of and low on energy. All right? So we all know if we have and it's interesting too. So this wonderful cervical curve in our neck, so we can call that an inward curve. It's concave, but we've got 4 curves in our spine. The primary curves are the inward, concave spine. So your neck and your lumbar, they're considered the primary. Your kyphotic, which is the back of your thoracic area, and your sacral are considered secondary. They're still really important, but it's the neck and the lumbar that truly will make the difference in terms of us not losing height, not having back pain, and of course there's this matter of discs. We'll talk about that as we practice today. In fact, there's always lots for me to share with you. So let's get started, and let's get started on our backs, okay? So bring yourself down onto your backs and bend your legs and plant the soles of your feet flat on the floor. And then perhaps you can lift your shoulder blades up and tuck them under your heart center. Your feet should be about the width of your hips. Your arms can be just casually by the side of your body. If you tilt your chin towards the center of your chest, you can feel your cervical vertebra lengthening. And then on an inhale, notice your rib cage expanding, so the thoracic area. And as you exhale, allow your lower back to relax. We're not exactly pressing it into the floor, we're just letting it relax, AKA neutral. So on an inhale, rib cage, belly expands. And on an exhale, notice how your lower back lets go. Again, breathing in, just watching and feeling the connection of your secondary curves. So this is your back of your thorax, your thoracic, and your sacral area are connecting with the floor. Your lumbar and your neck are not. They will in a moment. We're just doing a prep for bridge. I just want you to really get in touch with and develop awareness of these curves. Your primary being your cervical and your lumbar, they go inwards. And your secondary are going outwards or convex. And although this is a prep for bridge pose, whenever we feel out of sorts, anxious, stressed out, just bringing awareness and support to your body through the earth and breathing can be a game changer. We're often looking for more exotic or complicated fixes in life. I like the KISS rule. Keep it simple, sweetheart. These things have worked for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, now be sure that your feet are parallel to one another, about hip width apart, which means your heels will be lining up with your sits bones, ischial tuberosities. Let's place the palms of the hand face down on the mat. We don't need to change anything else yet. I just want you to really feel pressing into your heels, perhaps more than the balls of your feet. And then press the small of your back into the floor by tilting your pelvis upwards. And slowly peel your spine off the mat. So notice once you're up in bridge pose, you don't have to force it to go really high, but notice how your cervical spine lengthened when we're in the bridge pose. And that is because your chin is tilted towards your chest, and then slowly releasing your torso, one vertebra at a time, back down onto your mats. And once again, return to the prep stage where you can feel your thoracic area, your upper back, pressing into the floor and your sacrum, but your lumbar and your cervical are both off the mat. Honoring the natural curves of the one of the most beautiful designs, truly, the spine. So when we say a straight spine, we still want those four curves. Inhaling in place, feel the rib cage expand. Exhaling, allow the lumbar lower back to drop. And continue on that exhalation to press the small of your back into the floor. Keep your chin pointed towards the center of your chest and peel your spine off the floor. So if you keep your chin pointed towards the center of your chest, you're lengthening your cervical vertebra. One thing we really want to make sure, and yoga addresses this beautifully, is lengthening the spine and strengthening it. And we're not really strengthening the spine as much as the muscles that support the spine. And there are 4 layers of tiny little muscles. And the great thing about yoga is that even though we may focus on one particular area, most of your body is participating at some level, whether it's working or relaxing and letting go. One more breath in, and on an exhale, one vertebra at a time, slowly drawing your torso back to the mat. Bring your right knee into your chest, then bring your left knee into your chest. And pulling on the shins stretches out that lower lumbar area. Perhaps a little rocking from side to side. Extend the left leg straight down in front, and with your left hand on the outside of your right knee, take it across your body. And if you wish, you can extend your other arm out to the shoulder height, sideways, opposite side of the bent knee. Breathing into the hip and the glutes, or whatever part of your body is holding tension. That's the other thing about the spine. It is the structure that gathers all the energy, but in that energy often is tension. And just by stretching it, like a dog or a cat, we release that tension, that tightness. And inhale, come back to center. Keeping the right knee bent, draw the left knee in, extend the right leg straight down in front, and place your right hand on the outside of your left knee and draw it across your body. And remember last week we talked about just take the stretch 10% above your normal. If we work too hard and we force things, we actually put more tension in the body when what we really want to do is release tension. Using your breath. And draw that knee back to center. Bring your right knee back up. Either roll over onto your side or place your hands behind the back of your thighs. Rock up. Let's come over onto all fours. Cat-cow. Obviously brilliant for your spine. It's gentle and yet covers the entire length of your spine. Placing your hands on the floor with your middle finger pointing forward, your fingers spread wide apart. If you need to cushion your knees, use your knee cushion or fold your mat over at the area of the knees. Lengthen your spine by making sure that your knees and your hands are far enough apart so that the length from your tailbone right through your crown is optimal. On an exhale, round your spine. Pull your bellies in, tuck your chin. On an inhale, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, draw your heart center forward, lengthening through your neck. Exhaling, rounding your spine, coming into that primary in utero curve. Inhaling, hollowing out the lower back, drawing your heart center forward, lengthening through your neck, lifting your head like the little babies we once were. But you can keep your eyes closed. You know what's out there. Exhale, round your spine, pull your bellies in. Curl your toes under. Hollow out your lower back. Lengthen by bringing your heart center forward. Last time, rounding the back. Tucking the chin, pull your bellies in. Curl your toes under. Now, where we get into most of our issues in our spine is the upper back. So lengthen your spine as you attempt to bring your head up. So you're lengthening through that thoracic area. And then take your knees wide apart. Big toes touch, flatten the tops of your feet. Take your hips back towards your heels, lengthening your spine. Releasing your forehead either onto your mats or using your forearms folded like a pillow or your wrists stacked one on top of the other. Breathing into your side and back ribs. Feel the breath stretching the ribs. And inhale, come back, curl the toes under, lift your hips up, and just gently walk your dog for a moment. Shaking your head, releasing the neck, stretching out the backs of the legs. Last week we talked about how the calves, tight calves, can create tight Achilles tendons. And of course, easier to injure when they are tight, and it works the soles of the feet as well. So stretching out the calf muscles is essential for healthy Achilles tendons as well as your plantar fascia that line the soles of your feet. And then release your knees to the floor. And we're just going to do a couple of little neck exercises starting at the top of the spine. So if you have something to sit on, you can use that to sit comfortably and cross-legged, but choose whatever works for you. Maybe it's sitting on the backs of your heels, using your block. The important thing is here is to sit up nice and tall and remember to honor the curves. So inhaling, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Just relax your hands on your thighs. Exhaling, lower the chin towards the chest. Inhaling back up. Exhale, lower the right ear towards the right shoulder. Inhaling up. Exhaling, opposite side. Inhaling again. Exhale, lower the head. So it's interesting. You have to think of the irony that the first curve we ever create, the cervical curve, is now being completely, almost obliterated on a regular basis. Inhale, bring the head up by looking at our devices all the time. So we really need to take this into consideration. And then we're going to do either a semicircle or a full circle. Now, if you do a full circle, and it just depends on your neck, imagine you're drawing a circle with your nose. So inhaling in place, exhale, drop your chin towards your chest, and then make a big circle with your nose. So the head isn't really going back here as much as it's just making a circle. Now, if that is too much for you, then just do a semicircle, a half smile, but go slowly, whichever one you're choosing. So out of the 33 vertebrae of the spine, only 2 of them have names. First one is the atlas, and like the name sounds, it's holding the cranium up. Now, if we didn't have such a big brain, it might be hard to keep the head up, but through intrinsic calculations, you know when your head is straight up, if you're conscious, and when it's not. If you're making those full circles, let's change the direction. The second vertebra in the neck, so the atlas, of course, is part of the 7 cervical vertebra. The second vertebra is called the axis. And the axis is what we're using right now to rotate as well as turn the head sideways. So clearly, these are key vertebra to protect. And remember, of course, in between each vertebra is a gelatinous disc. And it's when the jelly inside of that pad, if you will, that disc, when it gets squeezed out because the vertebra are pressing in an unbalanced manner, because we're not observing proper alignment and coming down to the bottom of that last curve, that's when we can feel pinching nerves and pain. And then bring the head back up to the center. Okay, remove whatever you were sitting on away from your mats. Curl your toes under. And let's just hang here for a moment in Uttanasana and let the weight of your head once again stretch out your cervical vertebra. Please, when you're looking down at your feet, make sure the outsides of your feet are parallel to the outsides of your mat. Give your head a swing. If you're not sure whether or not you're holding it, please don't hold it. Let it hang off your neck. Just the weight of your cranium, your head, anywhere from 12 to 15 pounds, has a health-inducing effect and releases some of the tension on the discs in the neck. And of course, this is also relaxing for the spine. Okay, pressing the soles of the feet into the floor, slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked into your chest, and let the head be the last thing to come up. So remember, as a biped, which is what we are, 2 feet standing, it is that lumbar curve that supports us. Let me know if it's getting too hot in here, and we'll get tech. Is it too hot? It is? You're nodding your head. Can you see where the thing is on the wall? And just turn it back a bit, 1 notch, okay? Thank you. Okay, so standing in Tadasana. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. This actually unlocks your knees. So you're lifting up your kneecaps. Maybe you don't have to think about it, but if your thighs are engaged, you've lifted up on your kneecaps. And then bring your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, roll them back, and keep your sternum lifted. Shoulders down. This is one area where I see in a lot of people, they just get used to having their shoulders up, so that actually pulling your armpits down can feel like work. But that's probably because they're used to being up here, and those muscles aren't working anymore. But we're going to get them to work today. So pull your armpits down, and then inhale, bring the fingers together, interlace them, and turn the palms up. Stretching the spine, rooted and grounded through the soles of your feet. And then release and bring your hands together, but release your pointer. Bring your arms beside your ears. Straightening your arms as much as you can. Keep your thighs engaged. Inhale, reaching up, lengthening, and then arc to the right side. So keep the length. If we arc too far, we can put undue pressure on the lumbar area, so keep the length. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, other side. Keep the length. And breathe. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, let your head fall back. And then bring your arms beside your ears. So you're actually stretching the spine here from the front. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, release the arms down behind your back. And then bring your arms together, interlace your fingers, and then relax your shoulders. Oh, sometimes we do this and it's like, okay, great, but my shoulders are still up. Relax your shoulders, let your shoulder blades go down your back. They're only meant to go up when our arms go up. The rest of the time, they should be relaxed. And then taking your feet wide apart, turn your feet slightly outwards, bend your knees. But again, feel fully rooted and grounded through the soles of your feet. Inhale, lift your hearts and your eyes. Exhale, lead with your hearts. And bring your torso between your thighs, your arms up and over, whatever amount they can, paying attention with awareness, respect, and compassion to how your body feels today. What's your head doing? Let it relax. Let it hang off your neck. Release your arms. Shake your head. Slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Interlace your fingers the opposite way. You'll just feel it. If you can, you're squeezing your palms together. If that's not available, just do what you can. Again, you're pulling the shoulder blades down. When the shoulder blades go down, the chest opens up, lifts, and then again, bended knees, exhale, forward fold, lifting arms up as your torso goes between your thighs. Give your head a shake so you know you're not holding. And release your arms and slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, with your head being the last thing to come up. So we're going to do these arm exercises because, as I mentioned, it's the thoracic region that gets really tight. Lots of us are doing a lot of bending from the lower lumbar back, and we're kind of compressing it. We want to open this area so that it's as mobile as it can be, and we can be open. So let's take the right arm. I'm trying to do the mirror image. So right arm behind your back, and you're reaching down. I'm not doing the mirror image, am I? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I am doing mirror. So right arm is behind. And then take the other arm. Now, we're usually more flexible on one side or the other. We could be using a strap, but it's just notice where you're at. And notice which side. So we're going to change in a moment. But while you're doing this, try not to round the shoulders forward or round the back. We're trying to open up this area. And release. Give the arms a good shake out. Take the opposite arm over. And notice where you have a little more flexibility. So clearly I have a little more flexibility on this side. But whichever side you have the least flexibility on, I want to return to it. So even if it's the side you're on now, I'll be going back to the other one. Releasing, shake it out, go back to the side that you were least flexible on. You know, and if you are serious about practicing this and you have somebody to check you out once in a while to see if you got a little bit closer the second time around, or if you have a mirror, perhaps you can check yourself out in the mirror. And releasing. And shake it out. Last one, eagle arms. So in eagle arms, take your arms out to the side. You're going to bring your left arm under your right. Left arm under your right. Now, you know, if we have longer arms, some of these things are a lot easier. If you can, so we've done this before, you may only be able to bring palms to the back of one another. Maybe you can bring to the front. If this is hurting your shoulders because you've had a shoulder injury, then just grab your shoulders, comme ça, okay? That's it. So just know what your limits are. Yeah, so you can just take your shoulders like that if that's, or eagle arms. So often with eagle arms, we do the legs too. We're not going to do that today. I'm just trying to get this upper back area open enough for our back bends. And then release. Okay, remember which arm you had underneath? Change it up. You'll probably feel the difference. And again, this is fine if you have shoulder issues. Otherwise, you're trying to cross at the wrist, so you got it. Lower your shoulders down. Try to relax your shoulders and feel the length in your spine. Doesn't this music just make you want to roll your eyes up into your third eye? And put a turban on and get a crystal ball? I know at home you can't hear the music. If you could, I'd be in trouble. Okay, relax the arms. All righty, come on up to the front of your mats for sun salutations. If you have socks on and they don't have stickies on the bottom, good time to remove. Okay, shoulders down. Feel fully rooted and grounded through the soles of your feet. Engaging your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, lead with your heart, folding from your hips, feeling the muscles of your spine work. Step your left leg back, drop the knee to the mat, bring your hands onto your front right thigh. Drop your knee to the mat. Keep your chest lifted and shoulders down. Inhale, press through the back heel of your foot. Inhale, sweep the arms up. So if your torso's leaning forward, you don't feel as grounded as you will if your torso is directly over your hips, supporting the lumbar spine. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart. Come on down into your plank position. If this is too much for your wrists and hands, you're dropping your knees to the floor and crossing at the ankles. If you're in your plank position, you're strengthening your entire body. We are focusing on the spine, and this strengthens all the muscles that support the spine, and the spine, the vertebra, that is, protects the spinal cord. So if you think of a string of pearls or a string of beads, the pearls or the beads are the vertebra, the string is the spinal cord. Release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, leave your hands where they are, and take your hips back towards your heels, stretching your spine. We were strengthening, and now we're stretching those muscles, creating greater mobility by stretching the ligaments. So remember last week we talked about the difference between flexibility and mobility. Flexibility are stretched muscles. Mobility is about the ligaments, the tendons, and the joints. Keeping them mobile by stretching them and flexing them. Okay, and they're not independent of one another, but they are different. Release your forearms. Stay nice and low with your upper body. Bum is high. Slowly come forward. And when you're able, release your chest and your chin. Now, this is a back bend, of course. If we have stiff upper backs, kyphotic or kyphosis is a rounded upper back that's really stiff. This addresses that issue, along with alignment. Slide everything out behind you. If your toes are off the floor, off your mat, scoot your body forward, release your forehead to the floor. Bring your fingertips to the edges of your shoulders, your elbows into your side body, and your forearms down towards the floor. Notice how this moves the shoulders away from your ears. And then roll an invisible alley with your nose. And on an inhale, lengthen as you lift, coming into baby cobra. So those shoulder exercises, upper back exercises we just did was designed to bring some relief, if not release, of tension in the upper back. So when our head is forward, that 12 or 15 pounds is hanging off forward, it's stretching the muscles and weakening them in the back, overstretching them. And of course, the muscles in the front are contracted, and that weakens them. And then we don't have as much lung capacity, so then we feel like we're running out of gas. It's real simple if you just kind of join the dots. And then one more breath in, lifting. Obviously, we are strengthening through the lower back and lumbar. As we lengthen, exhale and lower. Curl your toes under. You can come up on your knees first or just press your hips up. Walk your feet a couple of inches forward. Make sure all 10 fingers are pressing into the mat a lot. And then press your sits bones towards the back of your mat, which lengthens your spine. You haven't straightened your legs yet, but just by pressing your sits bones towards the back of your mat, you feel your upper body lengthening, your ears aligning with the inside of your arms. Now you can press your heels towards the mat. And as I've said many times, don't be concerned if your heels touch or not. It doesn't matter. But you're stretching the calves, which is healthy for the Achilles tendon and the sole of your foot. Lift your left leg up in the air. Look at your left hand. Swing that foot as far forward as possible. Other foot forward. Oh, and let your upper body hang. This should feel good. This is a release. And yoga is all about releasing tension. Obviously, we need to strengthen, mobilize, and keep flexing. Bring your arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Pull your bellies in to support the lumbar, lower back area. Sweep the arms in front, reach up, feet apart for balance. Look up, lengthen as you arc back. Inhale, bring your arms straight up. Exhale. Forward fold, please let your heads hang. Bend your knees, inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, hands in prayer. One more round, please. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart, reach up, look up, lengthen as you arc. And then inhale. Bring your feet back towards one another. Lift out of your waist. Reach forward. Hinge from the tops of your legs. Keep stretching. And let your heads hang. Step your right leg back. Drop your knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your left knee. Fix your gaze. Press through that back heel. Inhale. Sweep the arms up. It's natural to sway or wobble, but do press through the heel. Keep that front knee bent. Focus your gaze. Turn your hands forward. Spread your fingers apart, taking your best plank position, the one that's best for you today, that's healthy. Shoulders away from your ears. Draw your bellies in. Align your neck with your spine because it's part of it. So don't let your head hang nor poke it up. Pressing all 10 fingers into the mat activates more of the muscles in the forearm, and this is overall strengthening for your body. Release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, take your buttocks back. feeling the release through the shoulders, the spine, the wrists. Leave your hands where they are and release your forearms and elbows towards the floor. And when you're able, release your chest and your chin. So if you find this posture really difficult, practice it. It is enormously beneficial for the alignment of your spine and to reduce some of the rounding in the upper back, if that's an issue for you. Slide everything out behind you. Align your fingertips with your shoulders. Let your forehead rest on the floor. Elbows into your rib cage. Press your forearms down towards the floor. If you're thinking to do the fuller expression of Bhujangasana, Cobra, separate your feet. Press your baby toes into the mat. Roll an invisible alley with your nose. On an inhale, everybody coming up into baby cobra. Breathing. Lifting. And then, if you wish, pressing the floor away from you. Do not let your shoulders come up. Draw your heart center forward and up. Let your eyes roll up towards Ajna, third eye chakra. So again, if we press too much into Cobra, we can compress that lumbar area, so don't force. One more breath in. Exhale, lengthen and lower. Draw your feet back towards one another. If you separated them, curl your toes under. Lift your hips up. Walk your feet a couple of inches forward. Bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs, your chest towards your knees, your sits bones towards the back of the mat. Your ears should be aligned with your inner arms, and then press your heels towards the mat. And breathe. Lengthening, strengthening, straightening the spine. Lift your right leg up in the air. Look at your right hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward. And let your upper body just hang in Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Give your head a swing. And then bring your arms beside your ears, engage your thighs, pull your bellies in, sweep the arms in front, reaching up, feet apart for balance. Arc back, but keep the length. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, let your heads hang, bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Take a sip of water if you need, flat out, and relaxing. Lying down, and if you wish, you can keep your knees bent with your feet flat on the floor, whatever feels good for your back, your spine. How are we doing for heat? Are we okay now? Okay. So closing your eyes. Again, when you're lying on the floor, please notice the curves of your spine, honoring the low back, lumbar, and the cervical. These are called your primary curves. Your secondary curves are the sacrum, which are fused bones. And interestingly, we used to have a tail. We don't have a tail anymore, but your tailbone was where your tail came from. Now we use our arms and our mouths to ward people off instead of wagging our tails. Breathing in so that your belly rises, and exhaling so your belly falls. So in a moment, we're going to practice some back bends, nothing too intense, but back bends done properly are the key to a youthful posture, as well as a mobile and flexible spine. And the other thing that we still want to be aware of is when we are elongating the spine, we don't want to bend so much in the lumbar area that we compress. So it's when there's uneven pressure, either from the front or the back of one vertebra with its joining vertebra, it can squeeze that gelatinous disc or pad, if you will. Some of you may be familiar with your brake pads on your car. Once they're gone, you get into the rotors, it's not good, but they can be replaced. Ours can't. So when we observe good posture, because poor posture is the biggest cause of lower back problems. I mean, there's always injury, or we're lifting something heavy, doing something, but again, we need to be smart to preserve, prolong, maintain, at any age, a youthful, mobile, flexible, erect spine. It's entirely possible when we pay attention and basically just care enough, I suppose. Okay. So, draw the knees up into the chest or roll over onto your side, rocking up, come on over onto your bellies. So, this is where you may wish to take your knee pad and just place it under your chin or under your forehead if you find it hard. We're going to do just one leg at a time in Salabhasana, or maybe you want to put your pad underneath your hips or pelvis area if you're feeling like the surface is too hard. Arms are beside the body. And let's identify the right leg first, and let's just lift the right leg up. Now, if you lift it too high, you get into that lumbar area. So again, find that middle ground, lifting up the right leg, not so high that you start to compress the lower back, but high enough so that we're strengthening the muscles in the lower back and the muscles around the sacral area. One more breath in. Exhale and lower. On an inhale, let's lift the opposite leg. So you can play around a little bit with the height to see where you feel you can derive the most benefit without creating any damage or just too much work for that lumbar area. It works hard already when we're standing and sitting. We don't want to overwork it, but we want to maintain the muscular strength and the alignment. One more breath in. Exhale and lower. Let's bring the arms in front. On an inhale, we're going to lift just both the arms, head, neck, and shoulders. We won't be holding as long here. Breathing in, exhale, and lower. Lower your forehead down. Back bends are cardiovascularly demanding, so it's not that you're not strong, but your heart will be beating harder, that is for sure. Bring your arms now once again back beside your body. Have your palms facing up. Have your legs together. Arms are beside your body. Roll an invisible alley with your nose. On an inhale, lift your head, neck, shoulders, arms, and legs, coming into full Salabhasana. So this is an excellent posture for strengthening all the muscles that are surrounding your spine. 4 layers. Lift your arms up too if you can. Lift your thighs. Arms are up. One more breath in. Exhale lower, and turn your head to the right. Let your shoulders melt, toes together, heels splay out. And bring your head back to the center. Legs are together once again, arms beside the body. On an inhale, roll the invisible alley with your nose until you're looking straight down at the floor. And on an inhale, head, neck, shoulders, chest, arms and legs all coming up, full Salabhasana. Reach your fingers back towards your feet so that your shoulders are not up around your ears and your shoulder blades are down your back. So indeed, it does strengthen your heart muscle, but we're strengthening all the muscles in the back of the body, but focusing on the 4 layers of tiny muscles, the paravertebral muscles supporting the back. And then turn your head to the opposite side. Again, resting your head, let your shoulders melt, big toes touch, heels splay out. So another interesting note is that when we carry a little too much weight in the front of our bodies, in our bellies, or we don't evacuate waste from the body properly, the small intestine is anywhere from 12 to 24 feet. The large intestine is about 5 feet. And then you've got your colon and your rectum. And if these things aren't cleansed, they're connected to your lower spine. So that can also create pain in the lower back. Fear can show up in the lower back. Sexual issues, menstruation, which most of us have passed by now. But all of these things, of course, can wreak havoc in the lower back. So I don't want to say that it's always about just, alignment and stretching, but I'm repeating myself. Bring your head back to the center. Poor posture is the worst thing for your lower lumbar area. Using your hands under your shoulders, pressing back up, curl your toes under, rolling back onto the soles of your feet, and then just let your upper body hang. This will stretch out your hamstrings, which you were working in those back bends. Let your head hang. Give your head a shake. Notice when you are allowing the cervical vertebra to stretch out by virtue of the weight of your skull. And then slowly roll up to standing, one vertebra at a time, and let your head be the last thing to come up. Okay, we're going to do a couple of triangle postures. So coming up to the fronts of your mats, step your right leg back 1 leg length. Now, I should have said this before, but if you wanted your block at the front of your mat or cushion, you can, although I also don't want you to use it as a crutch where you actually release your weight onto it. You would only use it as a guide. Okay, so your legs are going to stay straight in triangle. Heel of your front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot, and your back foot is just slightly forward. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. Lower your shoulders, lift your sternum. Reach forward until you can't reach any further forward. So you're reaching forward, you're not tilting yet. You're reaching over, you're reaching towards the front of your mat. So reach, reach, reach. And now let your front arm fall inside of your front leg. Let this be organic. And then reach your top arm straight up, if you can, so that if you were up against a wall, both of your shoulders would be pressing on that wall. Inhale, come on up. Let's pivot on our feet, turn the opposite direction. But again, make sure you've got your alignment with your heel of your front foot, creating a straight line through the arch of your back foot. Inhale, sweep the shoulders. Straighten your front legs, please, and keep them straight. You're not going to be bending your knees, so you're turning the other way. Look the other way, Janet. Yep. Okay, then reach towards the top of your mat. You're reaching, you can't reach any further. Now you're going to hinge and let that front arm fall inside of your front leg and bring the top arm straight up. So both palms are facing in the same direction. Your lower hand should be just inside of your front leg, your top arm directly above, almost a mirror image. Inhale, come on up. Turn your feet so they're slightly pointed outwards, and then come halfway forward. Now, if you can, you're going to take your arms, and you're going to try and grab your knees, your thighs, okay? So you're reaching with your arms, you're folding forward, standing forward, folded, bend with your arms reaching towards your knees, or thighs, or calves, or shins. And then bring your fingers flat to the floor, tented, elongate your spine. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching up, stretching up, maybe looking up. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, sweep that arm up. Exhale, and release. Now walk your feet in towards one another. Come on down for a couple of seated postures before Shavasana. Legs are straight out in front. Pull the flesh away from your sits bones. Sitting up nice and tall. So of course this takes back strength to sit up straight. Flex your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Lifting up, reaching up, stretching your spine. Exhale, lead with your heart. Doesn't matter how far you go, because you're stretching your spine as much as you can and need to. And then if you're able, you're reaching your toes, maybe your ankles, maybe your calves, using it as leverage to inhale. Once again, lengthen. Think about the length from your tailbone right through the crown. Again, keep your neck in line with your spine. You know, how we move into our postures, I feel, really matters. It's kind of the setup for the touchdown, if you will, or whatever it is. One more breath in, lengthen. You might be lifting your hearts. Exhale and lower whatever amount you can. And it does not matter if you don't go anywhere. What does matter is that you keep your spine from tailbone right through the crown as long as you can. And if you're practicing at home, back bends, then forward bends, then twists are always a good idea. Walk your hands back up your legs, bang out the backs of your knees, and then let's do one twist. Place your right foot outside of your left knee and flex the foot of the straight leg. Interlock your fingers 2 inches below the knee. Feel your sits bones going down. Place your right hand behind you. Inhale, left up. Exhale, either bringing the knee, elbow outside of the knee, or wrapping your arm around, whichever you're able. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, rotating. So this keeps the ligaments that support the muscles that protect and support the spine mobile. One more breath in, reaching up through the crown. Exhale and release, counter twisting. And release the bent leg, and let's bring the other leg beside the knee. Flex the foot of the straight leg. Pull your torso right up against your thigh. Lower your shoulders. Place your left hand behind you to prop yourself up. Reach the other arm up. Exhale, twisting. Elbow either around or outside of the knee, whichever works best. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twisting. reaching up through the crown, grounding down through your sits bones, breathing in to lengthen, exhaling to perhaps twist a bit more or not. Last inhale, exhale, counter twist to the other side. And release, bang out the backs of the knees. Come on over onto your backs. Now, if you do have a couple of blocks, and I'll just pretend this is a block, and I grab this because if anybody finds it uncomfortable to place their head flat on the floor, I do have some of these mini cushions. But my idea with the blocks was, if you wish, or if you have a bolster, if you're practicing at home, and you place it just up against your buttocks at the top of your thighs, lifting your shoulder blades up, tucking them under your heart center, tilt your chin towards the center of your chest. And again, as you breathe in, feel your belly rise, and as you exhale, feel your lower back relaxing. Eyes are closed. Let your eyeballs sink into their sockets. If you have something to cover your eyes, if the light is bright, it's always helpful. As I name the part of the body, mentally locate it, command it to relax 3 times in silence with no movement. Feet, ankles, calves, thighs, hips and pelvis, abdomen, chest, collarbones and shoulders, arms and forearms, hands and fingers, backs of thighs, buttocks, lower back, middle back, shoulder blades and upper back, neck, jaw, lips and tongue, eyelids and eyeballs, forehead, scalp, brain. Shavasana allows the body to absorb and integrate the benefits of what you have just done. It is extremely important. Sometimes patience is required when we're practicing yoga, particularly when we're doing things that our egos think are either impossible, difficult, boring, useless, blah, blah, blah. Keep in mind that our egos would rather be right than happy. Inhaling the life force, long, full, and deep, and deep. Exhaling. Long, full, deep. Inhaling. And let it all go. Take your time to roll over onto your side, bending your knees to protect your lower back, perhaps using your bottom arm as a pillow. And when you're ready, press yourself back up into a seated position. And if you wish, join me in chanting Om just one time. Inhaling together. Om Shanti and Om Canada. Namaste. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful day.